Open your Meowth wide for another campaign of Crit Sandwich. Welcome to Crit Sandwich. On Crit Sandwich, four friends play 5th edition D&D campaigns loosely based on some of our favorite films, TV shows, and video games. We use adult language, have inconsistent character voices, and often screw up the rules. Each season, we randomly roll for new scenarios. You can hear us do that in a bonus episode that came out today. For this campaign, we decided that our characters are monsters in the world of Pokemon, playing through the plot of Mad Max, Fury Road. If you're new to Crit Sandwich, this is a great episode to start because we are kicking off a brand new campaign, but we also have 4 campaigns for your binging pleasure. Go back and start at any episode 1. I am Casey Sears, your dungeon master for this campaign. To my left, because we're changing up the table, Chuck Ventus.
How's it going?
Tell me about your Pokemon history.
My Pokemon history.
Your personal history.
Robbie doesn't want me to talk about this, but I'm going to anyway. So, when we were younger, Pokemon was all the rage. And there was a game that was getting ready to come out on the N64 called Pokemon Stadium. And we were so excited about it. We went and got it from Toys R Us, I believe. Rest in peace.
Yeah, right.
Toys R Us. We went and bought it. And we were like, all right, Thanksgiving's like a month away. Or whenever, I forget when it came out. But Thanksgiving's coming up. That's when we got together as like family and stuff. So, all right, we're going to have our Pokemon battles. He was a Pokemon master, and spoilers, I beat him. So I'm a Pokemon master and he is not. Don't listen to him. I have the mic now. Sounds
like that story checks out.
Yep. And my son's like actually into Pokemon right now. So it's pretty cool that we actually have this campaign going on right now.
Yeah.
So.
He can't listen to this campaign.
No, not yet.
It's going to be a while before he can listen to this campaign. Across the table from me, Robbie Ponder.
Hello. So I don't remember how I got introduced to Pokemon, but after that happened with Chuck, I took that as a learning experience and actually learned a lot more about the Pokemon. So my Pokemon would kick his ass right now. I tell you what.
Because that really matters when you're in your mid-30s.
So one of my Pokemon memories is I used to work at Taco Bell, and I was scheduled at 4 o'clock to come in at 4. But I started going in late because Pokemon aired at 4 o'clock. So I started going into work at 4:30. So then I remember my boss changed my schedule to 4:20 for me to be able to come in at 4:20. So then I had to tell him no, Pokemon's over at 4:30. But I would be late every day because I wouldn't want to stay home and watch Pokemon when I was in high school.
That is
nice.
One of the saddest stories I've ever heard.
It's classic Robbie, is what to me in my mind. It's classic.
I did not know you back then.
Yeah.
That voice you just heard, Matt Popich.
Hey,
tell us about your history with the world's most highest grossing franchise of media, anything ever.
Yeah. So I missed the full on Game Boy part of it, and I played a little bit of it, but not a whole lot. I really got more into it with that N64 game as well, which was a pretty great game. And I beat whatever the story mode is. I didn't play against other people all that much. I did enjoy some Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go was pretty sweet there for like 2 weeks, and then just like the rest of the crowd, I died off pretty quickly after it got so repetitive. It's ridiculous. Other than that, like I know them. Like I'm more of a research guy, and I got into them, but never really got into the games, I guess. I don't know. I feel like the trading card game would be something I would like, but because I like trading card games, but never really got into it.
I played a little bit of the trading card game because one of my stepbrothers was into it, but I barely remember playing it. I probably only played it a handful of times, but I played the shit out of the original Game Boy games.
Cool.
And then instantly aged out of it. Yeah. I was 12 when that game came out, and then high school happened, and I was like, oh, done with this.
Whoops, that's a little rat that shoots lightning.
Yeah.
Is that when it came out, when we were around 12? Because I didn't really get into it until I was in high school.
I think you're a year older than me.
Huh.
Right?
How old is everybody?
I graduated in 2002.
All right, I graduated in 2001. So yeah.
I was like 7th, 8th grade.
Is it really the highest grossing?
Media franchise. It's made more money than Star Wars. It's
Really?
made more money than...
I didn't know that.
This was back when
anything.
Nintendo was about to crash, too, and the Pokemon games saved them. Because I think that's when GameCube came out, and GameCube, they weren't selling a lot of GameCubes,
Yeah.
but what they did sell a lot of is Pokemon and Game Boys because of Pokemon.
They've made $90 billion on Pokemon.
Dang.
Yeah.
Seems good.
I forget what number 2 was on that list, but...
And I don't see it dying down anytime soon. Detective Pikachu's doing really well, from what I read.
Yeah, I almost watched that for research, but then I just didn't.
Seems good.
I actually owned I owned the red, the blue, and the yellow. That's because I had to get the yellow because I had to get my Pikachu the turn meter, or TM, I guess you call them, of Surf. And the only way to get them to have Surf was to have a Game Boy Pokemon Yellow cartridge.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm teasing. All right, so
It's fine.
this is not your mama's Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is not your child's Pokemon. When everyone is picturing the Pokemon in this, probably think of like the hyper realistic looking Pokemon you've seen in the Detective Pikachu trailers. I don't think no one's here seen the movie, right?
Not yet.
I would like to. Yeah.
What's it rated?
I think it's
PG.
It's got to be PG.
Yeah, they bumped it down.
Oh.
Yeah, there was
could take
some worry
chance.
there for a bit.
Because a lot of kids would want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like people thinking Deadpool's a hero. Quotation marks there. And people take their kids to it. And it's a rated R film. So.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
How do Pokemon pee?
With their
PPs or JJs.
yeah, their genitals.
Yeah.
Where are they?
They're underneath fur or
Yeah, they're hidden.
scales or
They pop out like a insect or a fish or something. And they're horrible looking. They're all spiny, pointy. It's really horrifying. You don't want to see.
Yeah.
You don't want to see two Mr. Mimes, mate.
Oh my god.
There's probably no sound.
It's very quiet. You never overhear them. You never overhear them.
All business. Yeah, there's no
You
Just get right to it.
right. All
Yeah, you can't hear it. All right. So a couple of notes from me. So we are using the Kanto Pokedex version 5e by Canis Wolfman 24, which you can get by searching the internet. Let's hit the road and let's start it up. My name is Max. My world is fire and blood. Once, I was a trainer, a Pokemon master searching for a righteous cause. As Kanto fell, each of us in our own way was broken. It was hard to know who was more crazy, me or everyone else. To understand who I am, you have to go back to another time, when the world lived in harmony with Pokemon. Team Rocket led a war and took control of everything. And then the Pokemon, led by a talking Meowth, took control of Team Rocket. They freed their brethren, turning them against their masters. The Meowth filled the sky with poison clouds and set ablaze to everything. Without their Pokemon, the people were nothing. They built a house of straw. The thundering hordes of Pokemon made civilization sputter and stop. Our human leaders talked and talked and talked, but nothing could stem the avalanche. Our world crumbled. The cities exploded. A whirlwind of looting, a firestorm of fear. Pokemon began to feed on men. On the roads, it was a white line nightmare. Only those mobile enough to scavenge, brutal enough to pillage would survive. Meowth's gangs took over the routes, ready to enforce the rule. And in this maelstrom of decay, ordinary men were battered and smashed. Men like me. In the roar of Meowth's war machine, I lost everything, and I became a shell of a Pokemaster. A burnout, desolate man. A man haunted by the demons of my past. A man who wandered out into the wasteland with the only Pokemon that didn't turn their back on me. And here it is, in this blighted place, that I will meet my end. Gotta get some water after that. We see a grizzled and gaunt man. As rugged as the leather he's wearing from neck to sole, he's bound and blindfolded. In a dim room, dust-filled beams of light highlight the tops and edges of Pokemon. The creatures crowd in circles socializing. They lay and lounge with their eyes glazed over. Poisonous herbs that give the Pokemon a powerful sedative high hang from the ceiling to dry. Basically think like Jabba's Palace or the Mos Eisley Cantina, but just Pokemon. Just like dim, dark, dingy, dusty, little slits in the wall of light. A quartet of Cubones bang their clubs in a primal rhythm on xylophones made of human bones and drums stretched from human skin. You can still make out some of the body parts on the drums. An ear here, a hand there, a featureless face that's no longer attached to muscle and bone as its mouth hangs agape. Max is pushed through the crowd by a Blastoise wearing sunglasses and covered in tattoos. A Caterpie covered in war paint spits on Max as he passes. Pokemon in the room laugh. At least Max assumes they're laughing. He can't understand a damn thing these guys are saying. As Max continues his walk, Pokemon begin to whisper, gather, and watch. A Poliwhirl spits water onto Max, and the murmurs are interrupted with more laughter. Silence! A voice screeches from a throne at the far side of the room. The Pokemon quickly obey and part, making a path to a throne from Max, who is now in the center of the room. A variety of human and Pokemon skeletons hang over the throne with a Pikachu skeleton and a red and white cap in the center. In the middle of the bones is a flag. On it, a black M has been painted over a red R. The throne itself is a massive Snorlax with matted and crusty fur. The fur is worn down in the center of its mass, where Meowth, the king of Kanto, lays. Meowth is old, filthy. He breathes deeply and peers with wild, deep black eyes over his oxygen mask. A Kadabra stands at Meowth's side next to the Snorlax throne. Where its left arm once was, there's a prosthetic covered in tools. It raises its arm and Max's blindfold lowers and his binds drop to the floor. The Meowth says, "Do you have an offering for the king?" An Ivysaur steps forward and a flurry of vines start ripping Max's clothes off of him. Max struggles. The Ivysaur's vines pull and 3 Pokeballs from the clothes fall to the floor, bounce and roll. The Ivysaur grabs them and passes them to King Meowth. "Ooh, looky! Cage, please!" A Machamp wearing spiky shoulder pads pushes through the crowd carrying a large cage above its head. He places it before the king. "Team Meowth devastates all. No creatures will live in a Pokeball." One by one, he releases the Pokemon from their Pokeballs into the cage. Chuck, tell us what Pokemon... Well, actually, first tell us what it's like in your Pokeball, and then tell us what Pokeball or what Pokemon he releases into the cage.
It's very uncomfortable in my Pokeball.
Oh, really?
There's not much
Usually
room.
Pokeballs are like Nirvana.
Are they?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So, like, it's like it's your happy place.
My
your Pokeball
happy
is like
place.
a very
Okay.
content.
Well, I'm a Charmander, so I guess my happy place would be at the base of a volcano. And it's just like erupting lava, just kind of all over the place. And there's like a stream, like a river nearby. And when the lava is hitting the water, it's creating like a steam and just kind of, it's hot. Feels good. So,
Does your Charmander have a name or anything?
Charlie.
All right. All right, Chuck the Charmander. Charlie the Charmander?
So what am I doing? I'm describing myself, I guess?
So, yeah, do you have anything special
come
about you
out?
as he releases you into the cage?
Do I have my armor
Yeah,
yet,
you would have
or-
armor on
okay.
you. Yeah.
Basically, what a Charmander looks like, I am orange-scaled, large eyes, kind of a happy smile to my face, a large flame at the end of my tail. I am wearing ringmail armor, but it is like not shiny. It is like charred and kind of blackened just from the fire abilities that I have and stuff. And that's basically it, I would say. Probably come out and I say Charlie.
Meowth. No, that's fine. It's hilarious. Meowth releases a second Pokemon into the cage. What's the world he's ripping you from?
So,
This is Robbie.
I play an Ekans, which, if you don't know, that is a snake Pokemon. Inside my Pokeball, I picture it. It's on the ground, but there's a whole bunch of clouds on the ground with me. And I can just take a bite of the cloud, and it tastes like anything I want it to taste like. If I want it to taste like vanilla ice cream, if I want to taste it like what's a rat Pokemon? The Raticate.
Rattata?
Yeah, like a Raticata. It tastes like that. I also can turn them into squishy toys of where I just wrap myself around them and I just squeeze the crap out of these clouds, just constricting them from their movement. I just love hugging things and holding them, and I get ripped out of that world and I pop out and I see what's going on around me and I curl up like a snake curl and I stick my tail up in the air and I start rattling it. My name is Solid. I have an acorn on my head as a helmet. I have an eye patch, and along my body, it's kind of like a picture of a dried worm when it's, after it rains and it's crawling across the sidewalk or something, it gets dried a little bit. So I have really thick, leathery skin, and there's a footprint on my back where I got stepped on, but I was able to survive that. And so that's what I look like.
Nice. Meowth releases the third Pokeball into the cage. Matt, tell us about your Pokemon and your happy place.
My character is a Machop, and he is inside of his Pokeball is kind of like, I'd imagine like a really lavish like gym. I would imagine like a really nice hot tub. I would imagine some like a whole bunch of different cardio machines and lifting machines and things like that. Probably an area to run around the whole, like a exercise track around the whole thing, and then a massage area where maybe some beautiful Machop ladies are ready to give massages as well.
Miss Chops.
Yeah, and then yeah, just a whole bunch of What?
It's funny. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're allowed to laugh.
Can I not laugh?
You can laugh. So out of the Pokeball pops a short, muscle-bound, seafoam green humanoid creature with a short tail that barely reaches the ground, and then 3 Stegodon-type spikes that go from his forehead to the back of his neck. The spikes have been colored red, orange, and yellow. Aside from that, Machop has a large bronze bull ring in his nose and wears a tattered and ripped but functional set of rings as armor around his body.
Nice. So wait, does
that's
Chop
ringmail.
have a name?
Choppie.
Choppie. All right.
I came up with that on the spot.
Nice.
So
Didn't
we
really
have
a name.
Charlie, Choppie, and Solid.
What about Matt Chop?
I'll pass.
I think Matt Chop's pretty good. All right, so Meowth releases the 3 of you into the cage, and you are quickly surrounded by a horde of Pokemon as they're looking into you, checking you guys out, seeing what's going on. And it's already just humid and gross in this room, but now you can feel their collective breath breathing on you. And they're laughing at you, they're shaking the cage, they're spitting on you, they're calling you traitors and human fuckers and dogs and pigs and pig dogs. It is not a nice, warm welcome.
Pig Dog was over the line. And now I'm angry.
And so as they're yelling and chanting and making fun of you guys, the Meowth yells again, "Quiet! Be kind to our guests!" Oh, that was not the same voice that I did earlier.
I thought it was.
I thought it sounded good.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it? All right. I need to really channel my Meowth here.
Unless that was supposed to be Mad Max, in which case you're right.
No, that was Meowth. They are free now. Crush the ball so they will never be enslaved again. And the Ivysaur, all the vines fly out and grab the ball, and it grabs the balls from next to Meowth, and it hands them over to a Krabby who shatters them one at a time, and the Pokemon cheer and chant, "Crush the balls! Crush the balls! Crush the balls!" And everyone's just like cheering and just like celebrating your guys' newfound freedom in your cage. You know what I like to do when I catch a human? He takes a long drag from his oxygen mask and he says, "Make it fight!" And the Pokemon surrounding Max scurry away, and they all scurry away from the center of the room, with the exception of one Machop, the same Machop that carried out your guys' cage. And the floor below Max starts to shift and groan as large metal plates squeak and slide open to reveal a massive pit. "Human, I choose you!" And the Machop just picks up Max and tosses him into the pit below. And you hear bones scatter. And then he slides your guys' cage right up to the edge of the pit, so you have a front row seat to the action.
Are we all in the same cage, or
Yes.
3 separate cages?
They're all in the same cage.
Can I like do something to see if I can get out? Can I investigate the cage? Like, is there a lock in the cage?
Yeah, there's a heavy metal lock and a lot of, imagine like a very large dog crate. Like, it's all metal, it's all fairly open except for the metal bottom. I will tell you that it is completely, like, as he's pushing you over to the edge, all of the Pokemon that are surrounding you start to pile on top. They're piling behind it. They are like, even if you got out, you would just either fall into the pit or just be surrounded by Pokemon.
I want to protect my master.
I was about to ask, what is our feeling on Mad Max? Are we like, oh no, he's about to die? Are we like, finally, we're liberated?
Matt, you guys have been fighting with Max, and he's been taking care of you guys for a few months now. So he's your guy. He's your number one guy.
The lore of the Pokemon and the master is that they love each other. So I would feel that I want to do anything I can to protect my Max.
Go for it. If you want to try to get out, or
is there a lock on the cage?
There is, but there's also some like metal pipes that have also been around. So you have to undo the lock and undo the pipes.
I assume that the cage, I can't squeeze through it, since I'm a snake.
No.
I can't squeeze through anything.
But you got to remember, there's Pokemon all around, on top, on the sides, behind us. The only area that's open is the area that leads to the pit.
Yes.
So, like Casey said, if you try to go out,
I'll drop in the pit.
We're going to fall in the pit.
Yeah. I'll die protecting Max. I'll die protecting him. That's fine by me. I will say to Machop, I'll whisper to him, "Can you bend the bars for I can get through?"
Machop. I'll try.
Yep. Just make a strength check for me.
You got it. 14.
You start to go to bend the bars, and you're not really. It's just not enough. Even for you, this is a pretty sturdy cage. As you're starting to do that Machop next to you just slams his fist right over your head into the cage, leaving a little dent in the bars, and says, "Stand down. Watch your master die."
Sure.
I'll hiss at him and rattle my tail.
"You are free now." I assume people are kind of up in the front of the cage watching what's happening in the pit? Or?
Yeah, rooting for him.
So you guys see spikes and razor wire lining the top edge just below your guys' cage. And the stench of shit, blood, and rot is absolutely unbearable and kind of makes you want to vomit as you get close to the edge. You hear Meowth say, "Jamesmon, I choose you!" And in the far edge of the pit, there is a shit and piss stained sphere resembling a human-sized Pokeball. An older, emaciated man wearing nothing but crusty, brown, tighty-whities emerges as the top of this plastic sphere opens. He has an M-shaped scar across his torso, just carved deep into his skin. He has long, white hair at the roots that ends with a long neglected lavender dye job. Pure madness has replaced the humanity in his eyes. The lunatic and Max circle around the pit. Max picks up a femur as the lunatic lunges forward, and the two begin to fight. And the Pokemon start chanting, "Fight! Fight! 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 Fight!" And the lunatic claws and bites Max. Its chin is red and streaking with blood. Max screams and tosses the lunatic off of him. The lunatic licks his lips and wipes the blood from his chin. "I hope the Pokemon share when they eat you. I wonder what's the best part." Alright guys, make a perception check.
15.
Oh, mine is terrible.
3.
4.
Machop, as this is all going on, you're hearing Meowth laugh and cackle and then start to cough a bit. And you turn around and you get a glance at him, and you see him lean over and just grab the... Meowth is laying on top of the Snorlax's belly, laughing and cackling as he's watching the fight. You see him lean over to the Snorlax's like red, infected, blistery nipple and just shoot Snorlax milk straight into his mouth. And he catches you watching in horror, and he squirts a little bit your way. "Want a drink?" And luckily for you, it doesn't squirt that far. But as you're watching him do this, you notice that the Kadabra standing next to him is like, just kind of like, you know, its eyes are glowing, and like its fingers are on its one good hand are kind of like twitching and moving, like it's thinking and concentrating on something.
Okay.
And you're getting the impression that Max is at a disadvantage in this fight.
I see. Okay. I tell my two friends that and ask if there's anything they can do to maybe distract the Kadabra for a little bit.
Is there an opening? Like, can I see the Kadabra once he informs me about that?
Yeah, there's not a lot of Pokemon behind you. They're mostly on top and to your sides at this point.
Can I shoot a fireball at it? Like,
sure.
Ember or whatever? How far away is it, I guess? Or
we'll say about like 30 feet.
Do you have anything that can like stop him from going back into this trance? Like, you just hit him with some damage. Like, I can frighten him.
I'm just trying to...
Oh, I think that's better.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Because then maybe it won't be as visible to the rest of the Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I won't do that. If you've got something that can frighten them, then...
Well, it all depends. We'll find out. My buddy Choppie tells me this, and I go to the back of the cage and I stick my tail out a little bit. I start waving my tail in front of this Kadabra as I rattle it. So each creature of Ekans' choice that is within 60 feet can hear this must succeed on a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened for 1 minute. And I only choose this Kadabra behind the cage, and I don't want to mess with anybody else. I only want to frighten him. Must succeed on a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Yeah, check. Saw that 20 that landed. I think he passed.
Yeah.
He's not deterred.
Yeah, I guess his eyes are rolled back. He can't see my tail rattling in front of him. So I go back to the front of the cage and we can go to the fireball plan.
Whoa, okay. What do you think? Should I char his ass?
So you try to mess with the Kadabra's mind, or you try to scare it, really, right? He does notice that. He is very aware of what you're trying to do. And then he starts staring you down instead. So you seem to have kind of distracted him a bit, that he's not focusing so much on the fight. But go ahead, and are you going to roll to attack? And someone's going to try to throw a fireball at the...
I'll spit an ember at it. Yeah, whatever I can do to help Max. So,
are you firing at the Kadabra or at Jesse?
If I can see Jesse, I'll fire at him.
Do it.
I guess, so... While he's distracting that. So it is 2D, or I guess plus 5 to hit, so. 17 plus 5, 22.
Yeah, so you spit your flame down into the pit, and you get his hair on... Well, going to roll for damage.
10 damage.
They're cheating, as he just yells and screams as he's putting his hair out on, that's on fire. And Max takes the opportunity to just club him with the femur, and he spins around. Right after you do that, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. Because that Kadabra's going to mess with you a little bit.
A crit, 20.
Nice. All right, so...
Plus 0. That's the best I could do.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
You're still going to take half damage as he rips deeply into your mind and does 9 psychic damage to you. And just it feels like your head's about to explode. Your brain is throbbing.
Half a 9 or a 9?
9.
Oh.
It was 18.
That motherfucker almost killed me.
What about is Choppie going to do anything? You get anything?
Not ranged, no. I'm going to keep trying to open the bars probably, but it's to no avail, I think.
As after you guys light up Jesse and the fight's still going on down there, Meowth sees it and he's continuing to laugh and cackle. I think it's about time to evolve! And an Electabuzz walks up to the throne and hands Meowth a short knife. Human evolves into Stabbymon! And he screeches as he throws the blade into the pit, hitting Max square in the back of the shoulder. He screams in pain and turns around to see what hit him. And Jesse, the crazed man, seizes the opportunity and leaps onto Max's back and pulls the dagger out and then stabs it back in. And then out and then back in, over and over and over until Max falls on his face in a pool of blood. And the lunatic, he just does not stop stabbing. And the Pokemon in the room scream and cheer. Scream and cheer. And the madman licks the blood from the knife as he's staring into the cage. Your master is gone.
Char.
Cha.
Why? So a little bit of time passes and a little bit of celebration for the Pokemon occurs. They're all eating that poisonous herb and just like laying around like an opium den full of Pokemon. And they're laughing and they're cheering, and eventually they carry your cage away. And when they're carrying your cage away, they're taking you through this facility, Meowth's Citadel. You guys are shocked by some of the things you see. Most notably, he carries you through like a greenhouse. Like it's the first time you guys have seen green since he polluted, the earth. But he has fresh water here, beautiful green plants, plenty of food for him and his thrall, Machop, that's carrying the cage. Eventually sets you guys down in a warehouse-like room and says, "We'll deal with you later. You'll be re-educated soon. You'll serve Meowth, and you'll like it. It's a good place here for Pokemon. Don't let what happened scare you." So we'll go ahead and call it a long rest as the night goes on. Chuck, you can get those hit points you got taken away from you back.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome.
So we got moved to a dungeon cell now?
It's you're still in the cage, but you're kind of in a warehouse garage space that's full of vehicles. And you guys eventually wake up because you hear a little bit of scuffle, a little bit of whispering, and you hear someone say, "What about them? What about them? They could help us." And you don't hear anything in response. But a few minutes later, a tow truck backs up to your cage and lowers its hooked chain down on top. And the nights in Kanto are never fully dark. There's still like a pale green glow from poison clouds and a little crackly glow that happens with a lot of lightning flashes in the sky. And it's kind of, shining into this large, imagine like one of those garages that like crazy rich people have where it's like vehicle, just lined up as far as you can see to your left and to your right from this cage. And someone backs up through just an open door. There's not garage doors or anything on here. Through the dim green light of the night, and they back up a tow truck, drop the chain onto the lid. You guys see a young female Meowth wearing a sheer black hooded robe climb across the crane and down the chain. and she looks much more clean and tidy than all of the other Pokemon you guys have seen. And she says, shh, as she puts her finger up to her mouth and says, we're going to get you out of here. But Psychosa doesn't trust you yet, so you're going to have to stay in this cage. And she hooks the cage.
I assume we want to leave.
Yeah, I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Killed our master. I don't want to be here.
All right.
She says, we're headed to the Viridian Forest. Psychosis says it's still green there. If you stay here, you'll be eaten or become like them. And then she runs back up the chain and into the truck.
Okay, that makes me feel better about leaving.
From what you can tell, as the truck starts up and starts to rumble, and you guys are just kind of hanging there now as the chain starts pulling you guys up from the ground, and you start to look inside the cab, you can kind of tell that there are probably about 3 Meowths being driven in the tow truck by a Kadabra. And the truck begins to quietly drive away from Meowth's compound. After you guys leave the gates of the compound, you're shocked again, because you guys were in the Pokeballs when you came in here, by more green. It's the most lush and green area you've ever laid your Poke eyes on. There are gardens and some plants. And after you leave this space, you guys see a sign, because you're trailing behind, so you can kind of look behind you. And the sign says, now leaving the Safari Zone. And the truck picks up speed.
Is that one of the zones in Pokemon?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I figured.
Viridian Forest is one of them, so I recognize that.
I know that name too, yeah.
About an hour passes as your cage bounces and swings as it goes down an unkept highway full of potholes. You guys are beginning to become covered in dust and dirt. You're kind of sick and ill feeling from breathing in exhaust from this truck. You begin to hear something in the distance, and it's a motorcycle. And it's gaining on you. You see the little sliver of black on the horizon with a big dust cloud behind it. You hear the as it's gaining and gaining on you.
Would we know if that's a good thing or a bad thing? Is there like a gang of bikers, like a biker gang that's pretty brutal?
I was going to say, can we look and see if we recognize anyone that's on the bike from back at the facility, I guess, or...
So it keeps getting closer and closer to you, and so you can kind of make out the silhouettes in the dim green light. It looks like a Scyther is moving from the back of the motorcycle to the front, and an Electabuzz is driving.
The Electabuzz that we saw hand Meowth the scepter, or the knife.
I don't think you can tell from here.
Can tell.
What's the Pokemon behind him, you said?
Scyther.
Scyther is the grass Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, he's legit.
He'll cut our asses up.
Kind of like a praying mantis.
Yeah.
We're pretty safe in this cage. I guess
right.
so.
Some of our listeners don't know all the Pokemon, so I'm just kind of explaining what some of them look like.
It's the most popular
They will know.
franchise of all time. No, it's fine. Yeah. So you see, yes, the basically Scyther is a big praying mantis like things, but with scythes as arms. Electabuzz is this fat, funny looking dude with tiger stripes that look like lightning bolts. And so, as they are gaining on you, do you guys say anything, shout anything?
So the biker gang you said we know as the Meowth
Probably
gang?
Meowth gang, yeah. He's kind of really the big game in town. There's not a lot of other people out there besides Meowth's people.
I kind of just given up right now, as after my master was killed, my Pokemon master was killed. I'm just kind of laying down in the cage right now.
I've probably been trying to open it this whole time.
Yeah.
And even if I can't, I just enjoy flexing my muscles in some fashion.
Yeah.
So
you're probably making some progress at this point.
Okay.
You're probably starting to get some of those poles loose. I really think it's not impossible to get out of this, but it's definitely really hard.
Okay. So yeah, this whole time, I did research on Machop because I didn't know much about him before I did this. I picked him kind of at random. Even a normal day in a Machop life is just literally picking up monstrous stones and moving them to the other side of the room. That's just what you do. So I'd imagine just as much as actually trying to get the bars open, they just like to burn energy, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this whole time I've been trying to pry open these bars.
He's constantly working out.
Always.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to shoot while he's working through that opening. I'm guessing it's opening just a little bit because he's been working on it for a little while. I'm going to shoot towards the bike that's coming towards us because I assume it's Meowth's gang, and I don't want us to be followed where we're going. So
Sure. All right. So now they're gaining. What's your range?
Well, I've got two things. I've got a ember that's 30 to 60 feet, and then a lava plume that's 60 to 120.
So you want to do the lava plume since it's
Sure.
further? So yeah. So they're about 120 feet away. And what happens?
You see this huge ball of fire form. I open my mouth and just go, Chah! And you just see this huge ball of flame shoot out of my mouth towards them. Oh, and I crit.
Nice.
Now, if it's 120 feet, you're at disadvantage, though, unless I'm mistaken.
Is it?
60 to 120.
Oh, yeah. 60 to 120. Yeah.
Damn.
So
Thanks, Matt.
like a bow and arrow.
Okay. Thought that was a 1. It's a 7 plus 5, 12. Damn, man, I wanted to crit.
Sorry. I mean, it's Casey's rules. I just want to make sure we're doing it right.
So if it's in the 60 to 120, it's disadvantage.
Yeah.
But anything less than the 60 is regular.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
You breathe in and breathe out.
Yep. I just taking a deep breath, just and you just see a huge ball of fire just form in my mouth and just erupt out of it towards the bike.
And they have enough distance between you and them that they're just kind of able to weave around the fireball as it flies past them. And at this point, the bright light from the fireball and the encroaching motorcycle, the truck itself just makes a hard right turn, and your guys' cage just swings and flops around as you guys are still in the back hanging on for dear life.
I'll grab onto Machop's leg. I'll bite onto it because I'm sure he's holding onto those bars just to keep myself steady.
They continue to gain on you guys, and the Scyther is now actually let's roll for initiative. I think some things are about to go down here. I would like to do that.
22.
8.
6.
Well, these are the bad guys.
All right, so Matt, they're probably about 60 feet away from you now, continuing to gain. They were able to make that hard right turn.
Okay, and we're still in a cage?
Yes.
I want to look around the cage. Is there anything to pick up or bones or rocks or anything?
You know what? I think I would say there are probably a couple bones in this cage.
Okay, I want to try and find one of throwing capacity and see if I can wing one at the driver.
All right, yeah, you can. It's going to be difficult because you're going to have to put your arm out of the cage to toss it because you can't just toss it through.
And they're moving, so I would say with disadvantage.
Yes, absolutely.
You could also before I'm not telling you what to do, Matt. But now that those Pokemon aren't around us, do we have access to that lock where he could bust open the door to the cage?
You guys could try.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack. So I rolled a 20 and an 11. The 11 stands, and then it's plus 7, so 18 to hit.
Fuck.
Oh, there you go.
Jesus.
Wow, nice roll. So yeah, you fling that thing, and let's see, improvised weapon, but you're pretty strong, so let's go a D6 for damage.
Deal. 11.
11.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, you fling that bone. Scyther doesn't, he at this point, he's on the front of the motorcycle, he's about ready to pounce and jump off and leap onto you guys, and the Electabuzz is in the back, and you just, and just hit him, right in the face, and he kind of jolts backwards. They continue to gain on you. It is the Scyther's turn, and they are going to close the gap by about 15 feet. Let's see, Electabuzz is going to lean over to the side as he's on the motorcycle, leaning to the right of Scyther, and he is going to, you see the little nodules that are off the side of its head, light and flash with electricity, and it moves down its arm. He launches a thunderbolt at, who's in the, probably, I imagine Machop is in the back.
Yeah.
Does a 15 hit?
It does.
It does 19 lightning damage.
Pretty good.
And it travels around and through the cage and does an additional 5 to you, Chuck.
Oh.
And another 5 to you, Robbie. As the fight is happening, you guys see the Meowths in the back running out of the cab, running across the bed and to the controls of the crane. And they, one of the Meowths, again the one in the black robes, starts pulling you guys up and back towards the back of the truck, like she's going to try to set you guys down on the back of the truck.
Cool.
And as all of this is happening, the truck also takes another hard right turn, and
I just did a 180. We're heading back. Just kidding.
Yes, actually, yeah, you guys are kind of heading backwards now as it's trying to lose this motorcycle. You guys, right after that, Electabuzz launches that electric attack. It holds onto its head because the Kadabra in the front did a little psychic damage to the Electabuzz, and you guys see the motorcycle like veer and slide side to side, but then it straightens back up and continues its pursuit. Chuck?
How far away are they?
Like 15 feet.
15 feet? Oh, I'm going to shoot a ember at them. So another little like fireball just like forms in my mouth and I spit it out. I'm going to aim at the bike if I can.
All right.
15?
15 at the bike?
Yeah.
It does not hit.
Oh.
You hit it, but it just kind of flies off the front bumper.
I will move to the back corner of the cage as far away from them as I can get.
All right, Robbie, what does Solid do?
I wake up after being electrocuted a little bit. I was flopping around in the back of the cage, just kind of giving up. But after I've been electrocuted and I realized that these are Meowth's guys, I have a stronger will to fight. So I get back up and I lean backwards a little bit. My head goes back and my body leans backwards as I'm curled into a couple circles. And I lean forward and I shoot some acid spray out of my mouth.
All right, at who? At the bike? At
the driver of the bike, the electric buzz.
All right.
A 12 to hit.
Got some shit rolls here.
Yeah,
that does not hit. Yeah, you miss him as the bike is kind of going back and forth. Back to the top of the order, Matt.
Yeah, I guess I'll grab another bone and try and hit the driver again.
All right.
Disadvantage again?
Yep.
11 and a 13. So that'll be 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Another d6 plus 5. 4 plus 5, 9 damage to Electabuzz again.
He is looking pretty rough at this point. He had that psychic damage done to him, and then you throw another bone like a freaking sharpshooter with those bones.
I guess. What are those things? Marowaks or Q-bones?
Yeah. And you hit him in the shoulder, and the bike again starts to weave and dodge as he's losing control. But Scyther jumps off of the bike as the bike gets really close to the truck and slams both of its claws into the cage itself. And he just punctures 2 huge holes into the back of the cage. And he continues to just slash and slash at you guys while you're inside the cage. Machop, make a dexterity saving throw.
Now, I was in the front. You said he was in the back. I don't care. I just want to make sure. Chuck,
you were in the front?
Chuck actually specifically said I moved to the back.
Okay, so Chuck, make a dexterity saving throw.
Suck it.
14.
Charlie!
I'm panicking.
So you actually just barely miss the blades as they're coming into the cage, but it looks like you guys might have a bit of an opening here on the back of the cage where Scyther is. Now it is the Meowth's turn. She finishes moving you guys onto the back of the truck. She grabs something on the side of the like a tool, like maybe a wrench or something in the back of the tow truck, and tosses it at the Electabuzz and thunk, hits it in the face, and it you guys see the bike, the front wheel just flip forward and backwards as the Electabuzz and the bike just tumble and farther and farther behind you. All that's left is the Scyther. Chuck.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna move to the. Is the Scyther like right on me? Do I have to disengage to get away? Or
yes, you would. Oh, also the truck takes another hard right turn, and everyone's kind of jostled around as it's trying to get back onto its original path now that it's lost the motorcycle.
This tow truck, do I get the feeling that it's doing a hard turn to be able to get what gas is left in the motorcycle?
No, it's. You get the feeling that it was just trying to lose it for a bit, but now it's trying to get back to its original path.
Okay. So we're not worried about like getting more gas?
No, not at this moment.
Okay.
I'm going to, in a panic, since he's like slashing at me, I'm going to do a scratch maneuver at him. I'm just going to swipe my little claws at him and just try and scratch him in the face. 20.
Hits.
Boom. Do some 6 damage to him.
Ooh. He is undeterred.
Oh, shit.
You just swipe and you hit his bony green exoskeleton, and he just stares at you with huge, black, piercing, dead eyes. And and now that he's right in your face, you can see that there's a black skull just painted onto his face with a gold M painted in the middle of the skull.
And then what's your character's name, Matt?
Choppie.
Choppie, help! That's it. That's my turn.
I'm right by you. You're asking for help from him.
Oh, you're by me too?
Yeah,
you're
we're all
in the
caged
cage.
together.
Should you have taken some damage? Should you have done a dexterity saving throw as well?
I wasn't at the back of the cage or wherever you were at in the cage, I guess.
Choppie's our muscle.
Yeah.
Fine. Ask him for help. Don't ask me for help then. That's fine.
All right, Robbie. What is Solid gonna do?
Solid, I see a slight opening and I slither. I mean, I kind of just take my time coming toward him as I kind of just want to stalk him and scare him a little bit if he would ever be scared of a snake like me. And so then I'm going to do a poisonous bite. I'm going to lean back again as I lunge forward. I'm going to take a bite right toward his shoulder.
Get it?
9 + 7, 16 to hit.
Hits.
You need to make a DC 10 Constitution save.
He rolled a 19.
Passes.
Wow.
7 damage.
All right. It is back to Matt.
Yeah, I'm going to run forward and yell, Machop! Push anybody out of the way that's in my way of Scyther and make an attack against them.
All right.
And I'm going to try and I'm trying to visualize, is he coming in through the roof basically?
Yeah, he's coming through the back of the cage at you with his...
My only other move other than basic attack is called low kick. Do you feel like there's a low kick opportunity, or is it just...
Well, yeah, I think you could probably low kick straight through the back of the cage now that there's some tips and rips and tears into it. You can grab, you can throw, you can push, you can try to throw him off the back. There's more than just your...
I'm kind of imagining a running, jumping, Liu Kang style type of kick here on him. 14 to hit.
It does not hit. Yeah, you jump and run forward. You end up just kind of kicking the cage, and you just didn't hit it hard enough to knock him out and really open up that back.
Love it.
All right.
No, it's totally Machop style. It's just
awesome.
Pure power, yeah. Or, at least trying.
So Scyther, one of its long blades slashes at Machop, and an 11 is not going to hit you.
Nope.
And the other slashes at the Ekans that just bit him. 12.
Miss.
All right. It hisses at you and says, "It's too late. They already know. We're on to you."
Snow what? Snow what?
Snow what?
Snow. No what?
Snake.
Snow what?
Yeah, but it...
No swats. There you go.
No what?
I don't think there has to be. I would elongate S's, but I wouldn't just make S's at every word. I don't know, whatever.
The Meowth runs over to the cage and unleashes the hook that's on the back of you, and then she yells back, and now you guys see a second Meowth This one wearing like sheer white robes. And she yells to the other one, swing the hook, swing the hook. And they swing the hook, the arm of the crane, to try to grab the scyther. And they grab that scyther with that hook and start pulling him out of the back of the cage. And he's like hooked like underneath his arm. All right. And it is... and also the truck has now navigated back to the route it was on originally.
Does he get pulled away from us a little bit?
Yeah, he gets pulled away back. So now there's an opening at the back where he sliced open the cage. You have a chance to kind of crawl out, attack him, and he's hanging there. So you're going to have advantage on any attack.
Oh, nice. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Sorry. Well, I'm going to move out if I can get out and kind of get some distance between me and him. If I'm able to. My movement speed is 30. Yeah. 30.
You would probably get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, he gets an attack on me? So I'll stay back in the cage, I guess. Can I get a shot off of him?
Yeah, totally.
From where I'm at? So I'll just do that, and I'll shoot an ember at him. I'll just shoot a little flame ball at him, a little ember, while he's hanging there in the air.
Advantage. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah. Is it at advantage?
Yep.
All right, good. Thank you, Robbie, for reminding me. 23.
That definitely hits.
So it's going to be 13 fire then.
Okay, yeah, and he hates this. He screams and hisses as you light him up with that ember, and you see like the backs of his little wings start to crisp and burn, and that sucked.
Yeah.
So you're saying grass Pokemon are weak to fire?
Yes, sir, I am.
Who would have known?
Who would have known?
Next up is Robbie.
I feel that this cipher is pretty much dead. I'll call shotgun, and I will use my action to disengage and go and crawl into the shotgun seat.
The driver's seat?
The passenger
seat. I'm sorry, but into the cab.
Right, into the cab.
Yeah, so you crawl out and go past the Meowths. You see another Meowth in that passenger seat, a third Meowth. Do you say anything? Do you get in there?
I ask where we're going. Where are we going? I don't have a character voice. I'm just going to use my regular voice from now on for this snake. Where are we going?
The Viridian Forest.
I feel that these Meowths are pretty friendly. They didn't attack me as I'm moving around, and
So as you're looking into the cab and you start saying that to that Meowth, you look into the driver's seat, and it's the same Kadabra that was standing next to Meowth with the prosthetic arm that has a bunch of tools on it in the driver's seat.
So he's like a spy, I guess, playing both roles. I ask him why he was. I don't know how much time I have, but I'll ask him like, why were you helping Meowth, but now you're helping these Meowths?
She does not. She basically is like, sit down and shut up.
I'll sit down and shut up.
But she says it in your brain with telekinesis.
Ooh.
Cool.
Telepathy.
I'll sit down and shut up. Put my seatbelt on.
How does a snake put its seatbelt on? Just fucking around with you.
All right, next up is, we're back to the top of the order, Matt. We have a hanging, dangling scyther.
So I noticed that we're still in combat.
Yeah.
And I attack. I'll go again and try to use low kick.
All right.
So same exact move. I'm going to run up and do a jump kick. Yeah. Advantage. Woo. 19 plus 7, 26 to hit.
Hits.
Is he a medium or?
Yes.
He is a medium creature? Okay, so extra 1d6 if it's a medium creature. 7 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. 3. Yeah, for 7 damage, and then he needs to make a DC 12 strength or it falls prone.
I'm going to make this a disadvantage since he's hanging there.
Ooh.
So you kick him off that hook, and he just dislodges and flies backwards off of the truck and into the ground and starts rolling, and the truck keeps speeding past. As you're flying, though, to fly and kick, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw to make sure you don't fall off.
8 plus just straight dex, or do you want acrobatics?
Oh, yeah, let's do acrobatics.
Okay, so 13.
13. So as you're flying off the side of this truck, one of the Meowths runs over and reaches out her paw and grasps you.
Woo.
You kind of swing and dangle for a second as she uses your inertia to swing you back in.
Machop.
I was prepared to hand you my tail, man. It might have been hot, but I was going to give it to you. To grab
Charmander
onto.
dies if his tail goes out.
Yeah, I know. He wouldn't put it out. It's flame. Like, I can't be near water, by the way. It's really bad.
Yeah, that's fine. Because the place you guys are driving through is an absolute desolate wasteland.
I'm riding shotgun. You guys all look like bitches, not in shotgun seat.
So that's why you chose to forego combat.
No,
Nice
I
job.
knew you had it. I knew you guys had it.
Nice job, Choppie. I don't know why, whatever his name is, Solid, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't trust him anymore.
Nice job, Choppie. I don't know why Solid just left the fight there. Char.
I've got my eye on him.
All right, so you guys eventually get far enough away, and as you guys are kind of regrouping yourself, the truck slows down and comes to a stop. The Kadabra jumps out of the front door and just kind of like very gracefully and acrobatically puts herself on top of the cab. You guys all hear telepathically in your minds. Bringing you 3 wasn't my idea. I hope you don't fuck this up.
Who said that?
What the? Thanks for sinking your teeth into Crit Sandwich. Please give us a review on iTunes or the Apple Podcasts app. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or email us at critsandwichpodcast@gmail.com.